The procedure for an informational interview is simple. Introduce yourself, explain what you want from the meeting, and ask an open-ended question about how your interlocutor got to the current point in their career. After that, listen intently and follow up when you hear a detail of their story that interests or confuses you. I found it was helpful to take notes, but I always asked before doing so. To determine whether you're well suited to a given career, devise questions that are likely to uncover pertinent information. I make 2 inquiries of this kind in every informational interview. What are the skills you wish you had before you started in your current role, and what have people gone on to do after holding your position? These questions let me assess the immediate gap between my current capabilities and what's required to do a job, and allow me to identify how many doors a specific career is likely to open. I discovered the benefit of this approach during an interview with an admissions officer at Tulane in the summer of 2015. At the time, I was still committed to working at a university, and this career path seemed particularly viable. In fact, I could claim to have practical experience. I've interviewed undergraduate applicants to Georgetown University since earning my BA there in 2007. When I asked my interlocutor what her colleagues had done after being admissions officers, however, her answer was disheartening. Most used their tuition waiver to earn an MBA, then moved to another sector. Those who were committed to pursuing careers in admissions worked in lower-level jobs until someone above them retired, or they found a better position at another college. Although I walked away from that interview disappointed with the outcome, on further reflection I realized that it simplified my search. I knew I didn't want to earn another degree, and I had absolutely no interest in pursuing a second career where people got excited for a job to become available through an unexpected death or arrest. Eventually, I realized that the half hour I'd spent in the interview was well worth the time. It had taught me that college admissions wasn't a field I wanted to pursue, and that I wouldn't have to give it another minute of thought. As this story demonstrates, informational interviews have the potential to teach you an incredible amount about your career options, even when they don't go to plan. You might learn about a new area you'd like to consider for work, but you can just as easily become aware that you don't want to do something you assumed would be a natural fit. They're also hard to mess up. Since the other person is informational interview does most of the talking, there's little risk that you'll bore them or cause offense. The only place to be careful is in making sure the conversation doesn't drag. If your interlocutor loses interest or seems to be winding down the conversation, take the initiative to thank them for their time and wrap up gracefully, even if it's only been 10 minutes. At the end of these meetings, it's helpful to ask whether your interviewee knows anyone else you can speak with. This old journalism trick expands your research organically and lets you get a note of introduction instead of having to contact new people out of the blue. This question is also a useful proxy for gauging how willing they are to assist you in the future. The more people they mention as contacts, or the faster they follow up after your meeting, the more attentive you should be to maintaining the relationship. It's also good to send a follow-up note within 2 days of the interview. Doing so isn't just a chance to say thank you again. It allows you to remind your contact of who you are and show that you value the time they gave you. A handwritten letter isn't necessary. A simple email expressing gratitude and summarizing which parts of their story you found most helpful will suffice. This note can also be a good opportunity to request introductions to other contacts one last time.